Celtic fans' view. It was just a couple of days ago that this announcement was made on the land of the Twitterati, X, call it whatever you want, that Michel-Ange is on his way to Celtic. Well, tonight there was a little bit of more to be added to the story. Let me just upload this. He put on his Instagram and then deleted it. Let me just get this image. He did put this up on his Instagram. Just reduce the size of that. So he put this up on his Instagram an hour and a bit ago now. Here we go again. He did put that up on his Instagram and then he took it down. Now I have been sent information also, and I'm sure if he's online he'll take full credit for it. He will take full credit for it. I'll just turn this volume up a little. Oh, it's too high. There we go. That's just nicely. And then we've got this little bit of information also about a private jet that is on its way. Let me just see, where is it? Damn, it's on my phone. I should have downloaded it before from my phone. Block that. There we go, I can get it from here. Just 2 seconds. About a private jet that is potentially on its way to Glasgow. And you know how the Celtic like to push the boat out, and our owner, our esteemed owner, likes to do things in style with players. There's a flight coming from Farnborough to Glasgow. Private jet. Save image. Left at 7 o'clock tonight. It should be landing any minute now. In fact, it should have just been landing. Should just be landing now at Glasgow Airport. A private jet coming from Farnborough to Glasgow. I don't know how close Farnborough is to the airport that he was maybe landing at, but it's all looking good as far as Celtic are concerned. I did say that the fact that the transfer window is closed until Monday. Now, getting a player in over the weekend, getting a player in tonight and getting him through his medical tomorrow, signing the deal tomorrow, and then Saturday getting all the photography stuff done. I mean, the stuff with Kieran Tierney must have been done about a week ago. I wonder if it was done before he pulled out the Scotland squad or afterwards, which would have given him about a day. But then again, the production that went into that and into the Celtic media suggests that it was a good 2 or 3 days in between Kieran Tierney actually doing all the photography stuff and it being released by Celtic. That would lie in with the time frame of Balikwisha landing in Glasgow tonight and getting everything done tomorrow, Saturday flying back out, back home, getting another week's rest before he joins the team on the 23rd, Monday the 23rd. I'm still going with Monday the 23rd as the first day of pre-season training at Celtic. It's about 30 miles west of London. That's interesting to know, Stephen. It's about 30 miles west of London. So that gives the time that flight came in to London would give him enough time to then get to Farnborough for 7 o'clock tonight, because that was earlier on today. That got sent. That was around about 4 o'clock this afternoon. That got sent that. So it kind of ties in with the times, doesn't it? Is he on his way to Celtic? It'll be a fantastic piece of business if it is. And I tell you one thing. I think one thing that we can say for sure, as I'm going to sneeze, is one thing's for sure. We've also got a message tonight saying that Brendan Rodgers is going to sign a 2-year deal extension. Brendan Rodgers does go into his last season of this contract. A 2-year extension would probably be a bit right, actually. Celtic are not going to give him much more than a 2-year deal. Brendan Rodgers himself will be saying, do you know, that'll be getting to about the 5-year point. Is there a lifespan of a manager at a club around about the 5 years at any time? Brendan Rodgers would say yes himself. Brendan Rodgers would say, look, 5 years at one club, you can only take a club so far through that period. Now, Stephen McManus has been saying the good thing about bringing Kieran Tierney back is it gives the younger players in the squad, like they needed it, let's face it, like they needed it, they didn't really need it. Young players in the squad will know he's a winger. Doopy Hunter, he's a winger. I don't know why you're getting excited about his goal record is rubbish. He's a winger. He's got one job to do, is pass the ball in. Some Celtic fans will never be happy, will they? Off the deck, straight to the brazen heat. 2-year deal for Brendan Rodgers. Yeah, that's an extension. That would give him 3 years. That would give him, if he signs the deal this summer, if he signs it between now and August, Brendan Rodgers, that gives him 3 years. Paul Baird said 3 years is long enough. Didn't think Brendan Rodgers would leave after 3 years, said Mikey Boy. Anyone that's watched this channel over the years will know that I said right at the start that Brendan Rodgers will see his 3 year. A lot of people on the channel said that Brendan Rodgers will walk after his first year. He'll walk as soon as he gets the first offer. And I said right at the time, and I've stuck by that. And this is where me and Paul Baird, we have opposing views. I have always said that Brendan will be here for the 3 years. There's no doubt about it. And Paul Baird says he fucking shouldn't even have been back. He should never have been back. Aj can't take a club, can't take this club any. Rodgers knows what side his bread's buttered on, says Tam Wack. He wants a statue at Celtic Park. See people that come out with the Ange. Ange couldn't take Celtic further in Europe. Brendan Rodgers did more in Europe than what Ange did. And I'm not getting into this conversation about Ange. Ange is never coming back. Dry your eyes, mate, and see anybody that thinks with an inch of their boher that Ange Postecoglou is going to ever come back to Celtic needs to go down the Gallagate and get some counsel and snort the living daylights out of it, because it's never happening. It's never happening. I mean, you get more joy out of spending €50 on cheap gear. Last season I said Brendan will surprise the fans and stay a few more years, said Lanky. Yeah, you did that, Lanky. And I think that if he does, the reason I think that he will sign this new contract and he will sign a 2-year extension, he's just signed Kieran Tierney on a 5-year deal. He was the main player in the conversation. He was the main player in the conversation to bring in Kieran Tierney back. We all seen the picture done in London last December when Brendan Rodgers was in deep conversation. Now, the first thing that Kieran Tierney's asking Brendan, when Brendan says, do you want to come back to Celtic? Kieran says, how long are you staying for? I'll come back to play for you. Because I'll be honest, I've got options in Spain, I've got options in England, and there's some fantastic clubs with some fantastic money. But Celtic's my heart and soul. And I'll come back if I'm playing for you, because you're the man that really made me as a player. You understand me as a player. And if I'm coming back and you're only going to last one season, I don't think I'll come back, Brendan, thanks. I need some reassurances as a player. And managers can never give reassurances, because when things go wrong, managers are always the first to be punted out the door. So Brendan must have gave Kieran Tierney some kind of assurances that he's going to sign a new contract with Celtic. Now, it's very rarely that Celtic get rid of managers, unless you're Tony Mowbray, unless you're Mr. Barnes. They never even got rid of Ronnie Dyler. Ronnie Dyler told Celtic that, do you know what, I'm just going to stay the 2 years. Celtic didn't get rid of Ronnie. Ronnie's way better manager, by the way, than Barnes and Mowbray and managers like that. But he must have give Kieran some amount of reassurances that he was going to sign a new deal, because he's at the age. Kieran had a pick of clubs around Europe. A pick of clubs. Do you know, he'll probably come out over the next couple of weeks, and once he's back at Celtic and he does a few media conferences, he'll come out and say, yeah, this club was in touch, this club was in touch, and we're going to be sitting going, holy fuck me, mate. He could have went off and made fucking 100 grand. Do you know, he could have went and made 150, 200 grand a week for the next 2 years and been financially secure for the rest of his days. I mean, he's had a good contract at Arsenal over the years, but he could have sorted out his family for. And this is, you're talking about. I mean, when you're on 200 grand a week, I mean, even if you're on 55% tax, you're still bringing in over 100 grand a week. That's life-changing money for a wee guy from Scotland. Do you know what I mean? We're no used to that kind of money. The modern day player can take care of their family forever. Do you know? And I think this is what I like about the likes of Kieran Tierney. He's not going to be a Gascoigne. He's not going to be a fucking one of these old has-been players that drinks his cell into fucking some kind of whatever. He's got his head screwed on. So it would have took a lot of persuading by Brendan Rodgers. I think we're all taking it. Fucking Kieran. It was a given. He's coming back to Celtic. I don't think it was a given. I think Brendan Rodgers had to really convince him that, one, that he was going to be here for an extended period of time, and that, two, that the drop in wages is going to be worth it. So it's got to be a 5-year deal. Celtic are like, okay then, we'll give you that 5-year deal. It gives you that 5 years. You know that you're going to get this amount over 5 years, where you could have went to another club and you could have got the same amount over a 2-year period, but then you would have been looking for another club in 2 years' time. And a 30-year-old, you're not going to get a top table club. You're going to be dropping down into the Championship. And let's be fair, I mean, the Championship's a great league in England, but it's below Kieran Tierney's level of playing. He's a Champions League player. Do you know, he's a top level player. And I think that we should appreciate, and before all the haters come on and say, it's fucking chocolate legs, he's chocolate legs, he'll not see out a full season. The first thing that he said in the interview released by Celtic is, Brendan Rodgers can get the best out of me. And for that, as a player, that means more to a player, and it means more that he knows that he's not going to play 50, 60 games. He's not a Callum McGregor, right? He's not a Bruni. He's not going to play 55 games a season and walk through it like it's just nobody's business. Do you know what I mean? This is easy. I'm not even getting into second gear. I mean, Scott Brown used to walk through a season like that. The fuck? We mad fifers like that. I'm not even breaking sweat, and I'm getting a treble. Do you know what I mean? That's Scott Brown's, and you could say that Callum McGregor's not even at that level. Callum McGregor, he can't even see out a full season because of he's got an ingoing calf injury. So there's not many players that we're going to get that will want to play for Celtic for so long and will give their all to the club. And for what that does to the younger players that are coming through the system, young guys that are coming through the system will see the pictures of Kieran Tierney as a ball boy, coming through as a young lad, with all those famous Celtic players that he got his pictures taken with as a young kid. Legends of the game. Absolute legends of the game. Legends at Celtic. And Kieran Tierney's been pictured with him as a ball boy. Celtic will rip the arse out of that with the younger squad and say, this is what's possible. Live the dream.
Don't go away and chase the money and and go to a team down south that's going to promise you so much money a week, and you're not going to achieve your dream. When you come through the system at Celtic, your main dream and your main ambition and the only thing you ever want to do is to pull on that Celtic strip and play for the hoops. And I think it is an absolute done for deal that Celtic will use the next 5 years to motivate the next bunch of 16 and 17 year olds coming through the club, to motivate them to say, look, the grass isn't greener on the other side. Kieran Tierney is testament to that. As you can't throw your pieces off a 20-story flat. Anyway, look at that Swedish striker, Callum Osmond. Here's a question: will Lennon Miller sign for Celtic? Well, there's conflicting views. There is conflicting views when it comes to Lennon Miller situation. There is some part of the Celtic mainstream media that are saying that nope, the deal's miles off. And then there's other parts of the media that are saying that it's not too far. It's not too far. Celtic may be entering into negotiations. But anyway, I want to talk about this guy. Because this guy is a Celtic player and he's the Portuguese under-21 captain. And he's a player that didn't get as much game time as what we thought he would get. And maybe he thought that he would get. When Celtic went out and spent 11 million on Arne Engels, Paulo Bernardo must have sat back on his chair and went, have I done the right thing? But the fact that he's still the Portuguese under-21 captain and is no mean feat, it means that they rate him as a player and they see him as potentially full-time, full-squad player that will step up and do the business in midfield. Have Celtic held Paulo Bernardo back over the last season by not playing him in as many games? And if Lennon Miller does come to Celtic, it then makes it very interesting in midfield, because I think that Brendan Rodgers could potentially be going for a change of formation next season. It'll be interesting to see once we get to, I mean, we're only, how many days are we are now from the next Celtic game. Fixtures. 21 days, 23 hours and 26 minutes. 21 days, 23 hours and 26 minutes until the next Celtic game. Alright, you're too hot. There you go. It's absolutely boiling in here. The dog's wanting out. Got the fan on and everything, and it's still 30 degrees. Don't know what the temperature is with you guys, but it is. But Michelle says Paulo Bernardo's injury didn't help. Yeah, I know he was injured, but Callum McGregor was injured during the season. Do you know, there was lots of other players that were injured during the season, but you've got to, yeah, Paulo was injured for about half a season, so I wonder how much he would have played more. We're going on about KT like he's the second coming. If KT is injury prone, he wouldn't be coming back. He will lucky to get 20 to 25 games a season, says the man himself, Big Rab B. I think that the Baz just fart. No, I'll let the dog out. And now I'm going to have a glass of wine. And it was handed in by the hand of God. And yes, it is cold, look. Yeah, Michelle, we've got a game in 3 weeks. We've got a game in 21 days, which is 3 weeks. 21 days, 23 hours, 24 minutes. And the dogs just came back in. Hiya. Your mum will come and shut the door, you know that, eh? Anyway, and more Celtic news tonight. And it is a bit quiet because obviously
it's all speculation, but a lot of the Celtic sites are going with the rumoured Celtic target sparks speculation with an airport post and then deletes it. Essentials isn't available. No, what essentials? Royal Antwerp attacker is believed to be on Celtic radar and on his way to Glasgow. On his Instagram story, he put, "Here we go again." Let's get that picture. Is that picture still up? Let's get the "Here we go again" picture up. Yeah, so I wonder if there's anyone at Glasgow Airport tonight. He's not going to come walking through the main lounge bit, is he? If he's on a private jet, he's going to be. But they'll have to come out the front doors. So I wonder if some clever media people will be at Glasgow. Well, he's out now. He was out over. He'll be coming through there now because he would have landed about 20 minutes ago. According to the flight radar, landed 20 minutes ago. Private plane. You're out into the street within 20 minutes. No passport control needed because it's an internal flight. So he's just straight out, waiting car, and wait his hotel. And then to the Celtic. I wonder if he's done his medical already. Because I don't think that he'd be coming here. I don't think he'd be coming here to do his medical. He'd do his medical back home, wouldn't he? They usually go down to London. I mean, Celtic usually get them to do their medicals in London. There's another breaking news story. No, it's not. It's just the Callum Osmond story again. Who's going to be our number 3 striker? Our third choice striker. Because Johnny Kenny will go out on loan. Anyway, how long have we been on? 20 minutes. Right, it's that time of the night. We'll jump into the chat and see what's zoom in on the telly. What did the telly screen say in the airport? I don't know. Wait a minute. Can I zoom in that far? Jesus. It says Michelle's fucking crazy. It says Michelle's a stalker. I didn't believe I actually zoomed in on that. There we go, get that back up there, and then there we go. Here we go again. Interesting one. Anyway, right, who's on? Brown Warrior says he won't come through the main doors in case John Smeaton slide tackles him. It's all about the details. It is that. Johnny Kenny won't be happy with Brendan Rodgers, that's for sure. Do you think... I'm going to say that Johnny Kenny will know that he's going through a system that will make him the number 1 striker for Celtic for years to come, Paul. Right, this is my way of thinking about it. Johnny Kenny gets brought back from Ireland. He's scoring goals in the Conference League in Europe, the lowest league in Europe. He's playing at a level that's okay, you can say. That is okay. But you want him to improve as a player and get into the rigours of Scottish football. So if he's loaned out to a Scottish team, if he's loaned out to, I don't know, Dunfermline, nudge nudge, wink wink, if he's loaned out to Dunfermline, you've got to remember that Neil Lennon's already said, I love giving youth opportunity, bring them to me here at Dunfermline and I'll make them better. That opens the door for
Brendan and Celtic to loan out a striker that is going to save Celtic £10 million. Because when he goes to Dunfermline and he produces at Dunfermline, and then if he comes up to the Premier League, or if he goes to a club in the Premier League and he does it on a week-to-week basis, he will then be seen as Adam Ida's successor. Because let's face it, as good as Adam Ida is, Adam Ida will have a shelf life at Celtic. A shite life at Celtic, nearly said. And yeah, we'll just mention this quickly. Tam Max says, pray for the Air India disaster. I was up in Alicante actually, and I checked my phone just before I got back into my car before I was driving home. And it's the great thing about social media in this day and age is news stuff flashes up because it's a trending thing, and it was the BBC News flashed up on my phone on a social media platform, and it said that it was a crash. So then I do what I do. I went straight on YouTube and I put on breaking news, air crash, and BBC News came up, Al Jazeera. So I clicked on Al Jazeera because it's the only one that I trust. And the video footage that was coming out of India was just horrific. I mean, that plane was only a minute and a half in the air, and then it crashed. Tragic. Absolutely tragic. So my thoughts are going out to all the people that are affected, because there have been people lying asleep in their beds still, in houses, minding their own business. It just shows you, that accidents can happen, and I mean, we got all excited about football when, life can end at any minute. It can be taken away from you. So yeah, my thoughts go out to everyone connected and anyone, and you're going to see over the next couple of days. As soon as I heard there was a flight coming from India, and British man just walking away from that after the explosion, crazy. Yeah, and I heard that there was one person walked away, but I've not been watching the news since then. I've been out most of the day, but you'll get a lot of nonsense online over the next couple of days. There is a big Indian community. There's a big Bangladesh community in the UK. I've got family connections to a Bangladeshi family, so do you know what I mean? There will be a lot of nonsense in the next couple of days. But it's tragic news, and my thoughts go out to everyone. God rest their soul. But anyway, it's Celtic. Tomorrow's never given. Get good with Christ today. Just made me thought actually, because I was more. It's just got me thinking about my own situation. Johnny Kenny should say, God's sake, goals in European level competition. No wonder our youth are walking out the door. Never given a proper run to see what they can do, says Big Rabbi. Is scoring goals, Big Rabbi, I'm going to turn this round on its head. Is scoring goals in the lowest league in Europe, in the early rounds, not playing anyone of any significance, good enough to walk into the Celtic first team and play in the Champions League as the number one striker? That's the way that Brendan and the backroom staff will look at it. He has a level and he has the opportunity to progress as a player. But what you need at Celtic is someone that's European savvy at the top level of European football. Johnny Kenny's not there yet. He's away behind Adam Ida. So you can't say that he's going to be devastated Because when he first came to Celtic, he was a wee skinny lad. And he's went away. He's done his work at Rovers in Ireland, and he's progressed as a player. Brendan Rodgers said that him and the backroom staff, before the end of the season, before he got any game time, Brendan Rodgers says, we've sat down and spoke about the fact that Johnny Kenny might have to go out on loan to get him a full season's worth of football at a higher level. Michel-Ange Sheridan springs to mind here. Jesus, come on, he was never going to make it at Celtic. But you're right, there is comparisons to that. Johnny Kenny has potential. Maida has scored the ball to him at Ibrox. He would have been a hero. Yeah, he would have been a hero. But Dyson Maida wanted to take all the plaudits. So anyway, Brendan will have to be honest with Kenny. Of course he will. Just like Brendan Rodgers was honest with Gustav Lagerbielke. The same as he was honest with Stephen Welsh. The same as he was honest with Odomon. The same as he was honest with Louis Palmer. So I'm not disputing the fact that Brendan Rodgers can't take tough decisions, because that's what being the Celtic manager is all about. It is making those tough decisions. It is telling players, look, you're a good player. You're a fantastic player. You've got something. But you've just not got what we need at Celtic at this current moment. So maybe for the sake of your career, you need to go and try somewhere else. If you want to get more game time, you're going to have to do that somewhere else. Because I cannot give you a full season. We've got too many players that are better than you currently at Celtic. So you either go out on loan, you improve as a player, you become better, you show us that you can do it, you make us take notice, and we go, right then. Charlie Mulgrew comes to mind. Charlie Mulgrew comes through Celtic, probably had a similar conversation, goes away to Aberdeen, shows that he can do it, comes back to Celtic, no problem. I've no issue with players going out on loan, and I think that if it can make them better, and if it can make them progress as a player, because you're going to learn more playing football week in, week out, and you're going to improve week in, week out if you're with the right manager, if you're with the right team, and if it's a team that sets the right goals for you, and it's in conjunction with the way that Celtic play and the attack mindedness. I have no problem with Brendan Rodgers turning around and playing and saying, we're going to put you out on loan, because in a year's time, Callum McGregor done it. Callum McGregor would have had the same conversation. That's mad. Poof. That's mind-blowing to think about. I mean, you're criticising Brendan Rodgers and you're criticising, saying, oh, it's a shame for this player, but our current captain went through the exact same conversation as a player. This is why bringing back Kieran Tierney, I think, has been an absolutely fantastic thing, and this is why I think that over the next 2 years of Brendan Rodgers' tenure, I think this season and this summer in particular, McGregor, Christie, Scales, Ian McIntosh just fires the names out. Scales went to Aberdeen, come back, can't let him go. He's the best player that we've got. Do you know what I mean? It's like, well, he was the only fit one, but look what he did. Anyway, Johnny Hayes, yeah, underrated as well. I'm going to say Danny Cassie's in the house. Evening to you, Danny. You absolute legend of a guy. It's also because players are unlikely to get into the national team games, which affects the points they need to get sport visas. I don't think that really comes into Brendan Rodgers' thinking, to be honest. That's the last thing that Brendan Rodgers is thinking about. is about them getting enough points to have their visa. I think it comes down to football ability. Purely football ability. And I would take Danny Ings. You got to take... Here's the thing. Are we going to take old Danny Ings at 32-year-old or whatever he is, or are we going to bring in a younger striker? There's go. There's the poll. There's the poll question. And just do this. There we go. Let me just... Oops. Will Celtic go for an experienced striker or a cheaper with a sell on? There we go. There's your poll for this evening. God, there's been over 1,245 people on tonight. God, we've done over 1,000 views in half an hour. There you go. I didn't even do a thumbnail, did I? Did I? Oh, we did. I did. Let's see, I better sign for Celtic. Yeah, I did. To be sure. Where's Kaiser? I don't know. I've never spoke to him today. He usually gives me a text, Jim, but he'll be busy with family and stuff. Or he's been to the doctors and he's getting his tights off because of his leg situation. I know that he'd been at the doctors and the hospital and stuff, so he'll be fine. Do you want me to text him? I'll text him just now. Oh, he's been online 20 minutes ago, half an hour ago. I have text Kaiser just to ask if he's alright, since you were asking. Miller's not happening. Another John McGinn story, says Liam Miles. I'm in Morrison's car park, Baz. Stuart Ramsey, what are you doing in a car park at this time of night, mate? There's only two reasons you're hanging about supermarket car parks at this time of night. You're either doing late night shopping or you're picking up contraband. Kaiser was on Celtic World this morning. Oh, it must have been he's back in favour then. I prefer an experience doesn't always work. Remember Ian Wright. Right. So anyway, the question was in the poll, even though I should have asked it ages ago because there's been 1,300 people on the video tonight so far. Will Celtic go for an experienced striker or cheaper with a sell on? Experienced striker says 39%. Younger with a sell on is 61%. 61%. Ian McIntosh is laughing. Danny Cassie says, don't know if Will Lennon is going to come to us. I think if he does, he will know that. I think that we should wait to see what happens to the rest of the window. It's still early days when it comes to the transfer window. We've got all the way to the end of the 1st of September to go. We're still in June. Celtic tend not to sell their players until mid-July. So watch for Rio Hatate offers coming in then. Car park in the sky, Glasgow, great chill out place. I don't even know where that is, Tarmac. He's getting married, Baz. He needs a bigger venue, Celtic Park. Talking about Kaiser. Yeah, I know Kaiser's getting married. He told me last week. Has he announced it on social media, has he? I know where he's getting married as well. I know where he's getting married as well. Fair play to him. Fair play to Kaiser. he's mental, man. I love him. Like, he's a brilliant. Anyone been... don't mind Kuhn being sold, but keep the rest. Anyway, talking about Kuhn being sold, I was looking at Paulo Bernardo. Obviously, I got that picture from Paulo Bernardo's Instagram earlier on. Kieran Tierney's been posting his Celtic stuff. Nico Kuhn, loving the digs, mate. Loving the digs. Don't know where he is, but it's an exclusive place with the old pool. Louis Palmer is back in his shanty town old place. Oh, you've got to see this, man. This is keeping it real. This is keeping it real. This is why I like Louis Palmer. I know he's not the best of players, but I like him as a geezer, man, because he's down to earth and he's all about. He's for the hood, man. Do you know what I mean? He is. I'm going to post this picture of Louis Palmer. Is it that one? That's that one. We'll get rid of the one of Paulo Bernardo and get this one of Louis Palmer. Louis Palmer keeps it real, man. I know you could say what you want about him as his football talent, but look, back in an old shanty town back in South America, man, that's just like respect to you, man. That's knowing where you come from. That's knowing your roots. Fucking light's too bright, isn't it? Yeah, that's better. Jesus, that was too bright. And Louis Palmer, you've got to take away the football side of it, and he's a human being, and I've got a lot of respect for him for that picture. Do you know what I mean? It's like back to my roots. Love it, absolutely love it. I love that shit, man. So it doesn't matter where you can go, and life can take you on a journey to wherever. And I'll be honest, I never thought I'd be sitting here in Spain at my age. I thought that was retirement shit. I thought that was stuff for years away. Louis Palmer going back to his roots. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Take away for the football side of it, and do you know what I mean? He's living his own little dream. Never ruin someone else's dream. Never piss on somebody's parade. Do you know? I'm a believer in that, because it'll come back to bite you in the arse. Do you know? It's like you can have your views on him as a football player, but do not piss on that guy's parade. That's a legend in my eyes. Legend. And folk might say, he's fucking shit at football. He's fucking playing football. He's doing a lot better than what 99% of us dare do. He's living his own dream. And you know what? You can't take that away from him. You cannot take that away from him. Anyway, let's get rid of that, and let's get rid of that. He's back. It's like a bad smell. It just keeps coming back. Oh, Jesus. Let's get rid of that one. Let's get rid of... What the fuck's going on with images? It's fucking back again. That's it. Get that back up. Anyway. We digress. Where are we? What screen are we on? The car park in the sky is above Paisley Bus. Is it? There you go. It's not a place that I've ever been. John. Palmer's is Welsh, Lager, Belker, Rassen and Kuhn. Get them out. Kuhn, Ayer, Brentford, switcheroo. Christopher Ayer is not coming to Celtic. Christopher Ayer is not coming to Celtic. I can bet this glass of wine on it that Christopher Ayer will not be back at Celtic. Big Day says he's a cracking boy in the flesh. Kaiser, top boy. That was a great opinion. Yeah, it does, he is. And it's my highlight of the summer. My highlight of the season was actually catching up with Kaiser, and he comes out with a bag of cans. That's that quality, man. Turns up with a bag of cans. Legend, absolute legend. And I'm going to say it, I've been invited to his wedding. Yeah, I've been invited to his wedding. I know where it is. Baz Palmer is towing the caravan to the car park in the sky when he left running. Lanky says KT will probably play around 30 games. Fans think Brendan will play him on a plastic pitch. Won't happen. Nah, I think so too. He'll play around about 30 games in the SPFL, but I think he'll play all the games in the Champions League. Johnny Big says Palmer could be a player if he trained like one. And but as you said, Kieran would never be back. You never say never. I don't think I ever said Kieran would never be back. I don't think I did. I said that if he got the option, that's why I'm saying he played in Spain. He had options in Italy. I think we underestimate the job that Brendan. And hey, he's in the house. He's in the house. He got my text message. Did he? Did he even read it? Did you read my message? Here he is. It's like a bad smell. You're steaming live. Anyway, I did say that I thought that if he had the chance, and if Celtic didn't come calling with a reasonable offer, after playing in Spain and he experienced that lifestyle, there could have been a big pull for him to go to another European club, a massive pull. So Brendan Rodgers and Celtic must have done something. I said that at the beginning of the video. Brendan Rodgers, do not underestimate the power of persuasion that Brendan Rodgers has had in this deal to bring Kieran Tierney back. And I think it's unbelievable that we got him. Okay. Right. You alright? Shut that door if you want. Don't underestimate the power of persuasion and the conversation that must have happened, because that night in London, where obviously you seen the pictures. I mean, Celtic, they knew what they were doing. They knew what they were doing when they took the pictures of Kieran Tierney talking to Brendan Rodgers. I mean, in the old days it would be called tapping up players. He was only a month away from being able to talk to anyone for free anyway, and Arsenal weren't going to hold him back. So, I'll say that I got it wrong. I thought Kieran, if he had the opportunity, would have went to a European club, because I never thought that Celtic would give him a 5-year deal, to be honest. And that was my thinking behind it. I never thought there's no way Celtic aren't giving Kieran Tierney a 5-year deal at 27, 28-year-old. But he did. If you're watching and not subscribed, only takes. If you're watching and you haven't subscribed, you're not in the chat, because it's only subscribers that can get into the chat. Anyway, did anyone else watch? Sharon else through every time. But as even Barry Ferguson couldn't bring KT back to Celtic, he bleeds green and white. KT. I don't think Barry Ferguson would have anything to do with hearing rumours of a 3-year extended deal for Brendan. I'm hearing rumours of a 2-year. But if you're hearing 3, Kaiser, I got a message today saying that it was going to be a 2-year extension. A 3 would mean that he's going to be here for another 4 years. And it's maybe you're hearing that he's going to be here for another 3. That's where you're getting, I don't know. Hope you're correct. Club like no other. Right, let me see if there's any more Celtic news. I wasn't actually planning on being on this late. God, we're almost on for an hour. A Thursday night. Stephen Johnston's in the house. Steve Wilson says, St. Vaz, never in a million years did I think KT would be back. I'll admit when I'm wrong. I never saw us offering Kieran Tierney a 5-year contract. And that's a lot to do with the reason he came back. Let's face it. That's a lot to do. Let's hope it's only a rumour, says Paul Baird. Any update? Greg Taylor? Yeah, he's in Greece. That's all you need to know. Who cares? He's gone. Michelle, this just came online, Baz. What did Michelle? Celtic have been granted permission to speak to. There you go. There you go. Michelle, breaking news on the channel. Let's see if we can get some of that on. copy that, and I'll give you credit for it for breaking the news, Michelle. Where are we? Text. There we go. A little bit of breaking Celtic news. Thanks to Michelle, one of the fantastic, absolute amazing folk on the channel. It is such a good community here. It is honestly such a good community. Always breaking everything Celtic page on notifications. Oh dear. Scotland says we should be down looking at some of the young Chelsea players. Not too sure about that one. I think Brendan Rodgers managed the youth side at Chelsea back in the day, so I think that Stuart Ramsey's now driving him his beers. Lovely. So that'll be 3 wingers coming in. We need 3 wingers because let's face it, Yang's not the answer for the Champions League. I mean, that should be a poll question. Do you think that Yang's the answer to the Champions League for what we need? No, he's not. He's not, let's face it. And Brendan Rodgers will know that he needs to strengthen in those areas. I mean, Yang, for all the trickery he's got and the little bit of excitement that we got during the season when he came good, he just hasn't been consistent enough. And if you cannot push a bad Nico Kuhn for 6 months, if you cannot be better than a bad Nico Kuhn, you shouldn't really be at Celtic, because Nico Kuhn was totally off it. I still expect Nico Kuhn to be sold, and I still expect Daizen Maeda to be sold during this window. So we're going to need 3 wingers in anyway. Yang's only good when he's getting his Nat King Cole, said Michelle. I'm glad I quoted you on that one in the chat. But yeah, he was only good, and even Brendan Rodgers said it. He's like, his missus is over. He's on fire. He's walking into training like this. High fiving everyone as he's coming into training. They're all like that. He got his hole last night, didn't he? We need backup at left back, and yeah, we do that. And right back. Do we need backup at right back? Tony Ralston plays for Scotland every single game. So do we need backup at right back? That's a bit of a slap in the face to Tony Ralston, who gets picked for every single Scotland game. Every game. Mr. Dependable. He's not the best of players. He's not progressed as a player. But that comes down to game time as well. But he knows his position in the team. You need people like Tony Ralston. No, I'm going to stick up for Big Bricky. I'm going to stick up for Ralston. His what, Bass? I'm only reading what it said, Lorna. Lorna, it was Michelle that said it. Where is it? There's the quote from Michelle. Look. Michelle, like I said last night, Yang only good when he gets his Nat King Cole Baz. Go back to the comments and read what Michelle said. I'm only reading it out. Get Mrs. Yang on to join the physio team as soon as possible. Give her everything she wants. the entire squad? Jesus Christ, calm down, Michelle. Oh man. Oh Jesus. Michelle's now wanting to pimp Yang's missus out for physio and to the entire squad. Thank God there's no work tomorrow, eh? Oh, jeez. Anyway, Glasgow United said Scotland, a big Trick Bricky fan. Rate him, always dependable. He is always dependable. And I don't think that we do need a replacement for him. Not at all. Not at all. He's one of those guys that will just do his work, come into training every day, take his wages. You know, he's on a half decent wage at Celtic. He's enjoying his life. He's living in Scotland. He's playing for Celtic. He's sitting on the bench in Champions League games. He's fucking living the dream. Give the guy a break. He was never a brickie. I got groin strain near Yang's missus. That's why Kaiser got injured and he's wearing tights. I was online when Michel said that nearly split my pocket. Roast duck Korean style. Oh Jesus. Thank God we've only 5 minutes to go. Don't waste the bucket, says Michelle. I was just waiting on somebody saying swallow, don't spit. Ralston trains every day like he's getting picked. He doesn't moan, always puts in a shift when he gets asked. Great squad player. Absolutely fantastic squad player. And he's one that will go into pre-season again. And he's another one that doesn't do you know what? What is the consistencies between Tony Ralston, Callum McGregor and James Forrest? There's 3 things that those players do that make them stand out for the crowd, and it's not on the football pitch. Tell me in the comments what Tony Ralston, James Forrest and Callum McGregor do differently from every other player. Even Scott Brown used to rip the shit out of them for doing this. So only 5 minutes to go. If Brendan has extended his contract, get Thomas Muller on loan from Bayern and ask him to take the player manager job when he leaves. Yes, opinionated Glaswegian, spot on. No social media. If you want to be a Celtic player, and I would say this, I'd get Brendan Rodgers to say this, and get the guys in. If you want to extend your life at Celtic, and if you want to be a living legend, ditch your social media. Don't even look at it. You've got enough to worry about. Come in, train, family, work hard, play for Celtic, live the dream. No social media. Tony Ralston, James Forrest, Callum McGregor. 3 players that have came through the system that people will say James Forrest should have left Celtic years ago. How many shite seasons has he had? Tony Ralston, he's fucking garbage. Keeps coming up. Callum McGregor, times last season. You need to get rid of Callum. He's past it. He's done. He's out injured for 3 games. We need Callum back. It's the 3 of them. The 3 of them, and that's the consistent thing that they do, is they focus on their job. They focus on living the dream, and that should be the thing that's put out. And I think that's one thing that Brendan Rodgers will try and accumulate over the next 3 seasons at Celtic. He'll make sure that the younger player knows that you can become your next Kieran Tierney. And you can get your £25 million move. You don't need to leave Celtic at a young age and go off and get paid 10, 15 grand a week at 18-year-old and never make it to the highest level, never play in the Champions League, never play in the Europa, but you'll make a good living, but that's fine. If you want to achieve stuff at football, look at the likes of Scott Brown. And Celtic should bring up interviews when Scott Brown said, yeah, I've had players, they've WhatsApped me 6 months later and said, you were right. I shouldn't have chased the cash. I thought it was going to be better for my career, but it wasn't. Kieran Tierney, James Forrest, Callum McGregor, Tony Ralston have all come through the academy, and that's what I want to see more of next season. And on that note, it takes us right to the hour mark with over 1,800 people on the live tonight on the hour. It's been absolutely phenomenal for a Thursday night and pre-season. I need to get back to doing, as of next week, we will be back to doing Monday to Thursday 8 p.m. live, as well as 9 a.m. Celtic part time. We'll be doing an hour live then also, so we're back to 2 hours a week lives, and then any breaking news, it'll be the odd video 5-6 o'clock that might come up. Anyway, big shout out to Tarmac, big shout out to Lanky, big shout out to Gary, big shout out to Lorna Gallagher, big shout out to Kaiser, who is an absolute legend, Brown Warrior, big shout out to Michelle, who keeps the chat going and has some interesting comments. Someone was Celtic advertising team sitting in the toilet what? The only reason I drink is because I read Michelle's comments. Joking. Big shout out to Brown Warrior, big shout out to Wilson QW, big shout out to Lanky, Duck Soup, Joseph, big shout out to him, Johnny Briggs, Tamac, Ian Roy, Glasgow's Green and White, Opinionated Glaswegian, and many, many more. And I can't forget the absolute legend of the channel that is Kaiser, as well as, where is he? I haven't seen his comments tonight. Anyway, on that note, I need to finish off this poll. There's only been 137 votes. There's been over 1,900 people on the live tonight. Just shows you people aren't voting. Anyway, will Celtic go for an experienced striker, or will they go with a cheaper, with a sell-on, a big sell-on, being a sell-on clause, and hoping the potential of creating more money for Celtic? 51% said Celtic will go for an experienced striker, and 49% said that Celtic will go for a younger one with a sell-on possibility. Only 140 votes. And on that note, again, I need a drink and I read Dan's comments. Dan's a legend. Nobody, I'm going to say this, nobody ripped the piss out of Dan Cassie, because he is a legend on this channel. And he does things for this channel in the background that is way beyond 99.9% of everyone else. Anyway, on that note, have an absolute fantastic evening, Celtic fans, wherever you are. I'll be back tomorrow morning with any breaking Celtic news. Oh shit.